client. But you'll never know that I've seen that ad because I'm not going to interact with it at all. So for me, that's really a big thing, man. We just deal with that, more often than I like to. That's why we look at the previous 6 months, get your baseline. Now we're going to look at 6 months later and look at the net increase because we know the numbers are going to rise by running paid marketing because you're going to get in front of more people and then you're going to have more opportunities to sell and close them and make more money. So that's how this thing works.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merritt.
All right, guys, here we go. Another episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple. Today, guys, Blake and I, we're going to talk about basically the things that you really need to focus on when you work with us or any marketing company for that matter. Because a lot of times, people that haven't run marketing or maybe they've run bad marketing and they come in focusing on things that that really don't matter, right? So we want to give you, 4 things that will have you locked in and ready to start making more money, increasing your revenue. Because at the end of the day, that's all we really care about here at Lasso. So Blake, I'm gonna let you start it off, and then we'll just take it from there.
Yeah, so I think the number one thing is you have to know your numbers. Oh, let's be honest, even before you start with a marketing company, you should know your numbers anyways. So key things to really keep track of is how many signups you're getting before you start running ads. You should know your signups every single month on average. And then you should also know your churn. How many people are you losing? Also monthly revenue. There's a lot of other key metrics like LTV that would be very important to know. And so knowing your LTV, length of engagement, or lifetime value, you take length of engagement times your ARM, and then you can get lifetime value. Then knowing how many on average people that you sign up, and then your monthly revenue and your churn rate. So those are some key metrics. And the reason I say that is because once you turn on ads, you want to know, and here's the thing, guys, and I harp on this, and I'll talk about this later, but the main thing you want to focus on, if I know on average over the last 6 months, I'm getting 4 signups per month, and we've gone through the metrics, and I'll say this, that like the last 30 gyms that started with us have an average of 4.5 signups per month. Now, if that's your average, and then month 2 and 3 that you're working with a marketing company, that 4.5 goes to 9, and you attributed everything that you did before the last 6 months is baked in there, referrals, your Bring a Friend week that you run every single month. Everything's baked in there, and now you're getting 9. You know that there's a net positive. You're increasing by 100%. And when you think of it, you're like, oh, it's only 4. Well, it's actually 100% growth that you would have over year if your churn stayed the same. Here's what you don't get into. Well, let me backtrack. The main thing, and I keep harping on this, and I don't understand why gym owners don't get this. Think of the last time that you clicked on an ad, or not even clicked on an ad, that you bought something from an ad, or that you saw first on Facebook or Instagram. 85% of the time, unless it's like under like $10 to $15, $20, you probably never purchased it off the ad. You saw the ad, you clicked on the Instagram, you went to the website, and then once you got to the website, you had a buying decision. Do I buy right now, or am I not ready to take action? Let's say you didn't take action. 3 weeks later, you come back, you're like, you know what? I saw the brand new AirPods, I saw them on an ad. Yeah, I want those, right? 3 weeks later, you go and you type in apple.com, whatever, and then you purchase it. And this could be for anything. What really got you to the buying decision was the ad, but it took you a 3-week process of thinking about it, and then you finally took action 3 weeks later. So what does not get attributed to that is the ad doesn't get credit. But it was the ad that actually got them to purchase. We have so many gym owners across the board, and it just happens all the time. They're signing up 3, and then like they get 12 signups, and they're like, well, it's all these things. Like, that's just not the way the world works. Tommy, who's on our team, he's spending $6,000 per month on marketing right now for his gym that's opening. Over the course of the last 14 days, he has seen 100% increase to his website. 100%. Now, simply, if he was not running paid marketing, there would not be 100% increase. So do you think because of 100% increase, he's getting more website leads and getting more opt-ins and pricing requests and rate requests? 100%, right? So we call it the halo effect. Everything is going to increase once you start running marketing. Then the things that you need to keep track once you start marketing is what's the net positive due to marketing? If I was getting 4 and I'm getting 8, I know there's a net 4. What's my LTV on those 4? Let's say you charge $200 a month and people stay for, let's just use 6 months. That would be really bad, but let's say it's 6 months. That's $1,200, right? So if I got 4 new ones net due to that and then $1,200, I'm making an extra $4,800 over that course of the next 6 months that I would not have made. Well, if you do that for the next, let's say that's 2 months, well, that number goes from 4,800 to actually 9,600, and so on and forth. It just keeps compounding on itself. Your revenue should keep increasing as long as your churn stays the same. So the number one thing that you need to know is how many clients do you sign up right now? What's your churn rate? And then figure out once you run marketing, what is your cost per acquisition? So if it costs you $100 to acquire a customer, but that customer is worth $4,800, where in the world do you get would that be 4,800% return?
We need Tommy.
Yeah. Whatever, you guys get the point, right? It's a massive return. You're making $4,700 off that $4,800 client, right? You would, if you went to Vegas, you would just keep doing it over and over again. And then that's why our gyms see a 2x growth or 100% growth over the course of the year, double in 2 years, whatever it may be, because they keep doing those things over and over. Now, 3 net new clients or 4 new ones doesn't seem like a lot each month, but when it compounds on itself, that's important. I will get to the other play the long game later and not focusing on money in and money out each month. But yeah. So the next one, and I'll let Sherman take this because I just ranted. Or you have anything to add to that? And then I think another one is dialing in your sales process and your front end offer.
Well, to sort of finish what you're saying, I think that it's for the love of everything good and holy, like we always talk about. On average, we look at our last 30 gyms. On average, they're signing up 4.5 people per month over the last 6 months, over the last half year, right? Okay. And then when you come to us and work with us for 6 months, and now you're averaging 10 new signups, guys, I just want to be clear. We don't want to hear about, oh, these people are just walking by, or, oh yeah, my organic traffic on my website just upticked out of the blue. Well, where was that 6-12 months previous, right? Because we talk about this often. There's this halo effect that happens, right? Everything is going to increase because, like Blake was mentioning earlier, there's people like myself who I'm never going to click on an ad. Like, I don't want more emails. I don't want to give you my cell phone number, but I will see that ad and go directly to your website and peruse and check out what I want. And then if I want, I'm going to buy it. Without that ad, you would have never had me as a client, but you'll never know that I've seen that ad because I'm not going to interact with it at all. So for me, that's really a big thing, man. We just deal with that, more often than I like to. That's why we look at the previous 6 months. Get your baseline. Now we're going to look at 6 months later and look at the net increase because we know the numbers are going to rise by running paid marketing because you're going to get in front of more people. And then you're going to have more opportunities to sell and close them and make more money. So that's how this thing works. But all right.
One thing I want to add to that, and we said this on the last podcast. If you haven't listened to go and listen to me and Tommy, we're pretty forward on it. Just knowing your numbers, if you have a 5% churn, you will never get past 100 clients ever. Because let's just think of this, 100 clients, 5% churn is 5 new clients. We have seen on average a gym gets 4 average per month. You are basically net -1 every single month. Now, if you have a 3% churn, you'll never get past 150 clients. So just knowing that if you're listening to this and you're stuck at 100 to 150 based on 3 to 4 to 5% churn, if it's above 5%, you're probably never going to get past 85 or 60 to 85. So don't believe a mentor company that says you can do it all organically. If your churn is higher, yes, you can improve your churn, but the gold standard of churn is 3 to 5%. If you're between those ranges, you will never get past 100 to 150 clients without paid marketing. All right, that was my only rant. Go ahead.
All right, that's fine. All right, now we're going to talk about dialing in the sales process, guys, because this is key, right? Because many gyms that work with us, you're going to have more leads than you've ever gotten before, right? So if you don't have your process dialed in, a lot of these leads are going to be lost, right? And they're going to be lost because if you don't have a CRM that's customized for long-term nurture, if you don't have a place for them to go immediately when they come into your system and start getting correspondence from your team and all of that stuff, you're going to drop too many people too early and it's going to be bad, right? You're going to say, man, none of these leads are signing up, or not that. You're going to say, enough of these leads aren't signing up. And that's the thing that really, I want to say burns people out with the paid social. They don't have the sales process dialed in and all of that. So yes, they're still net positive on member and revenue, but the juice isn't worth the squeeze because now they're only getting 1 or 2 new members per month. And they're like, man, I'm doing all of this work for 1 or 2 more members. Yes, it is 1 or 2 more than they would normally have, but it's just so much work. And that's the thing that we tell folks. If you are going to start with us and let's just say double your revenue over the course of 18 to 24 months. So you start with us at 15 and 18 months later, you're doing 30. It is a lot of work, right? It is a lot of work. And a lot of times, not a lot of times, I shouldn't say that. I take that back. At times, people start with us and they're just like, well, I'm paying you this money, so the work is just going to be done. And then people are just going to come in and say, yes, sign me up. And that's just not the case, guys, because remember, when we're running this paid social, some of these people, they don't know, like, or trust you yet. So you're going to have to explain to them why should they pay you over all the other options that they have, right? And that's important. So if they come in and you're talking about, look at our barbells and our rowers and we have a great community, well, how's that helping them get closer to their goals? Because most people that join a gym, they're not joining the gym to have more friends or use new rogue equipment. They don't care about that. They're joining the gym to make changes in their body more likely than not. So they want to know, how can you help them lose those 15 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever it is. So having your sales process dialed in and locked into what's really important to the client is, to me, the number one thing that you have to really tighten up on when you start running paid marketing. Because again, we know that we're going to get you leads, right? Like, we know that. But if you can't convince them, and not even convince them, if you can't explain to them why they should train with you, well, they're going to go down the road. Like I always say, if you're not great at sales, I wish that you were in my town with my gym, because if you're not good at sales, I'm really good at sales. So if you let that person walk out to think about it and they're checking out gyms, well, they're going to leave you and they're going to come to my gym. And I can guarantee you, I'm not going to let them walk out and think about it and all of that stuff. I'm signing them up before they leave because they have something that they want. So, guys, sort of taking this back, you must have your process for the client dialed in, and you have to have the CRM set up where they get nurtured long enough, right? I think that's really key, that the nurturing process is really long because, like, how often, like we talked about how many touch points it takes, but let's just say, guys, for us, I'm just to keep the math easy. If we get you 100 leads, right, we expect a 10 to 20% conversion rate off of those leads. So if you get 100 leads, you're going to get 10 to 20 new clients, right? So let's just say you're crushing it and you get 20. Well, what about the 80 that didn't make a decision month one? And I think that's where the CRM and the follow-up process really comes into play, because over 6, 12, 18 months, you have all of these leads that are sort of just sitting there. But if you're nurturing them, reaching out to them, helping them over the course of time, then they're gonna come in and say, "Oh, Blake, I've been on your email list for the last year, and time just wasn't right. I was nervous, but that email you sent out today, or when you text me today, like, it's just time. I got a vacation coming up in 4 months. Can I join?" So, Blake, how long do you think these CRMs need to be built out for the nurture process?
Well, yeah. So like I chatted with a guy the other day. He's like, I have a 3-strike rule and you're out. And I was like, oh, like appointments they don't show up to? He's like, no, if they don't respond to. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, people take 13 to 21 touch points of hearing from you before making a buying decision. So if you guys think about just the way that, let's say, your kids just went back to school. That whole week was probably crazy. And the week after. So 2 weeks, you're just kind of not even paying attention, right? Or like you're seeing the messages, but you just don't have time to respond. Hey, I'll get back to them when life slows down. So there's 14 days, right? So like minimum, you should have a month's worth of texts and emails going out. We recommend probably more 6 months to a year, because here's the thing. If you have a room of 100 people and you ask, who would like to get in better shape, look better, feel better, lose weight, gain muscle, whatever, 90 people are going to raise their hand. Probably more than that, actually, probably 95. So that problem actually never goes away. So if you stop messaging them, you paid for a lead that now still has the same problem, forgot about you, and is now probably looking for something else. The other thing about it is, and I like to just give some guidelines, what does it look like on even a micro level of how fast should I respond to a lead? How quickly do I get them in the door? Stop sending people links. Stop making it harder on them. They're looking to buy a service from you. Unless you're at capacity on a wait list and you're just like, I don't care if this person comes in, I want to make sure they're like ready. You should be booking people and asking them what time, because you're only putting more friction between you and the consumer. Like if I'm trying to buy something from you, you're like, hey, just click here and schedule. Like that may not be a big deal to you as the owner, but to them, that's like an extra step. Anytime you put an extra step, you're always going to have a 30% drop off in that. So you should respond. And if you listen to this, and if you think this is absolutely crazy, you're probably not ready to do paid marketing. The gold standard is within 5 minutes. To like silver standard, within 15. If you are taking more than an hour, some people are still going to respond, but you're missing out. There was a study done a few years ago by either Stanford or Harvard, I forget.
Harvard. Yeah, it was Harvard.
So if you respond within the first 5 minutes, they are 80% more likely to buy from you. So if you're paying for leads and doing all of that, you need to have stuff set up to message them quickly, a CRM. Like you should just never run paid marketing without a CRM. We don't even let our clients to run paid marketing without a CRM. Because if you had 50 leads and you need to do 10 touch points, that's 500 manual touch points. You can never do that. And then also I want to backtrack too. You need to make sure the sales process isn't just selling, guys. Like that's one key component of it, but it's everything that happens even before the sell. Are your website forms actually working, right? Like this is crazy to think, but like you should be going through your website every week. I just messaged our website provider like, hey, these two forms aren't connected. I noticed I got a lead today, but it wasn't in the system, right? Like you should be doing that, making sure every single week that everything's working properly. One little thing you can do, all your buttons should say the same thing. You should have everybody go to a form first and fill out the form and then go to your scheduler. Imagine you go to a form to book a consult for a gym and no times are on there. Well, are you going to book a random time just because you want to hear from them? No, you're not going to book it. You're not going to commit to that. So, but if they had the form and then you fill out their information and then it goes to them and they're like, hey, Blake saw you showed interest in our gym. You know, what are some of your goals you're looking for? Hey man, it was going to book, but I didn't find any time. Oh, cool. When are you free? They would have never had that lead in a potential buyer if that form was not properly set up. Lastly, you need to be, not lastly, but you need to be posting minimum of 3 to 4 times a week, ideally every day, but you need to have up-to-date stuff on your organic marketing. I'm not going to go into the weeds on this, but like whatever your marketing is saying and who your avatar is, if you're going for 50-year-olds, you need to make sure there's 50-year-olds on your organic marketing. Your website needs to be clear. If it's a website that you did by yourself, no offense to you, it probably isn't that great of a website. You need to go hire a website company to actually do your website properly to make sure that everything, this day and age and, you know, this technologically area that we're in, your website is your storefront. And so people going to your website are going to compare you. Let's say you have the best gym, the best coaches, get the best results, but your website is just trash and the gym next to you has horrible coaching, gets horrible results. It just, all the people want to leave that gym. Somebody that's never been to either is going to pick the gym with the better website unless they know somebody in your gym. So you're losing from the beginning. Investing $200 to $300 a month in a website is going to pay for itself month one. So that whole process of a lead coming through your website, your organic traffic, the CRM are all super important and crucial. The last thing I would say is having confirmation sequence. I have to confirm my son's hair appointment. There's nothing wrong with asking people, are you going to be able to make it tomorrow? Right?
And if they don't respond, not to cut you off, Blake, guys, listen, this is old. If they do not respond, they are not showing up. It's like, it is simple. Like Blake talked about, he has to confirm his son's haircut appointments. If Blake doesn't confirm it, and then he just shows up, 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, someone has already taken that appointment by now, or the barber isn't there because Blake didn't respond. Guys, people know this. You know, there are crazy things that may happen once every blue moon. Like, I love to tell this story, then we're going to wrap up. But I had a lady, she didn't respond. So it wasn't a big deal. She didn't respond, so I didn't show up. And then I get a phone call. This lady's at the gym. I'm just like, what's going on? Like, she actually showed up. So then I'm like, hey, I'm sorry you didn't respond. Come to find out, this lady was deaf. So she had a deaf phone. She had 2 phones and one of them didn't, blah, blah, blah. But like, that's the outlier, guys. More than likely, they're not showing up if they don't respond, guys. So, you know, we could talk about this all day, but what we're going to do, guys, we're going to break right here. We're going to stop this because we want to make sure we have enough time to give you guys everything else in episode 2. So, guys, as always, tell a friend to tune in, and we will chat with you guys next week. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's LASSOFRAMEWORK.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.